What's up, guys? Welcome back to Channel 4. Another reaction. We got a special one for you today, ladies and gentlemen. We got former lead vocalist from the band I Prevail, Brian Burkeiser, has just dropped a newly released single, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you that don't know, Brian unfortunately left I Prevail, I believe earlier this year, over some band-related issues or some controversy. Bands typically don't like to, share the hidden details, what goes on, behind the scenes and stuff like that. But we got a statement from Brian saying that he left the band, they on good terms, so there's no hardship there. Rather, I mean, at least I hope not. At least Brian, at least hope the guys are still friends, after everything, because I Prevail, they've been just like popping off, especially with the new released album that they just brought out, which is probably the heaviest thing they've ever created thus far. But I believe it was his health issues related, because he was having a lot of pain, a lot of surgeries, a lot of stuff to do with his voice, that sort of thing. So I don't know if but they said that wasn't the reason for it. So it is what it is. People can say different things, believe who they want. But it is a sad thing to see that one of your favorite band members do eventually leave the band, and they have to keep going without your favorite band member. So it is a hard thing to see. But fortunately enough, he's still writing music, he's still creating music. Brian always had that iconic clean singing voice to him. He never really did any of the screams, he never really did any of the hard growls kind of thing. I was more Eric sort of thing. So it is interesting to see that he is still writing new music, if he still has that same kind of tone to him, or has he been practicing on the growls, has he been practicing on the screams? We're just gonna have to wait and see. So that is a little exciting thing to look forward to. But shortly after that departure, I'm sure he's been hard at work creating all these new tracks, creating this new image that he's reshaping himself to be. So I believe this is his new band. They're called Scatterbrain, and I believe this is the newest one that they came out with recently. I don't think they've come out with anything before this. So this is fortunately another Taylor Swift cover, from back in the day. For those of you that remember, that's one that boosted their popularity and which made them brought into the mainstream, early metalcore scene, early pop goes punk kind of thing, with their Taylor Swift Blank Space cover. Probably one of the best metalcore covers out there, let me just say, because that one definitely holds up, and it's definitely one of the most popular ones. So I don't know what made him do another one. I don't know if he's trying to capitalize on that popularity. I don't know if Brian is just like, let's do another one, let's see what the fans bring out the old school nostalgic vibe for the the old school fans kind of thing, bringing back the old sound. Maybe it had some little modern twists here and there. But this one is a cover of Look What You Made Me Do, which is a kind of newish Taylor Swift song. Typically it's not, I don't know why he chose this one. It's not really my favorite one to hear from of hers, if any. To me, I'm not really a Taylor Swift fan myself. So, I don't know why he chose this one. It's because the way the original this one goes, it's kind of, simple. It's kind of like, kind of weird, structure-wise, with the beat and with the, the words and stuff like that. So it's kind of an interesting take that he chose this one. So it might have been a hard one for him to, write a metal cover. So I don't know. It could be a banger. It could be like a, probably one of my favorite ones to hear thus far. But I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait and see, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm excited. I'm hyped. Hopefully we get some more Scatterbrain in the near future, amongst all these other new bands that are coming out with new stuff early next year. But let's in. But before we start, be sure to go on, appreciate it, and to really help me out. And if you like Brian, former I Prevail vocalist, just as much as I do, be sure to like on this video as well. And if you're new here, thank you for stopping by. Check out some awesome videos. We're just getting started on this heavy bangers. Ladies and gentlemen, no time wasting. Let's get right into it. This is Brian, new vocalist over at Scatterbrain's newest release single titled Look What You Made Me Do, metal cover. We got a high budget on this one, looks like. They ain't playing around. They already got the money. Let's see.
I don't like your little games. Don't like your tilted stage. The role you made me play.
Almost have like a dark tone to it.
Like you. I don't like your perfect crime.
We got the raw footage too. Let's get it. Boy's already flown out tricks. Oh, that tone. A little dark twist to it.
Look what you made me do. Look what you made me do. Look what you just
I can maybe get behind this.
I don't like your kingdom keys. They once belonged to me.
Got that trap beat in there.
Ask me for a place to sleep. Lock me out and through a feast. The world moves on and take another drama.
Oh, okay.
Not for me, not for me.
Little build up.
Body's karma. And then the world moves on, but one thing's for sure. I got mine, but you'll all get yours. But I got smarter, I got harder in the nick of time. Honey, I rose
Not
up
gonna lie, I
from
like the
the dead,
vibe,
do
but
it all the time.
like I said, I don't know if it's the right song for it though.
I check it once, then I check in twice. Look what you made me do. Look what you made me do.
Okay, there we go.
Look what you just made me do. Look what you made me do. Look what you made me do. Just nobody and nobody trusts me. I'll be the actor starring in your bad dreams. I don't trust nobody and nobody trusts me.
Still got the voice though.
The actor starring in your bad dreams. I'm sorry. The old Brian can't come to the phone right now. Why?
Oh, I see what he did there.
Because he's dead.
Little flip on the words right there.
Look what you made me do. Look what you just made me do. Look what you made me do. Look what you made me do.
Oh, here's the screams.
Look what you just
Let's go, Brian.
made me do. Look what you made me do. Look what you made me do.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, what an interesting one. What an interesting one. Like I said, I don't know if it fits well. I don't know if it's like, you know, goes well with the flow of the track, with the metal, and stuff like that. Because like I said, the original is kind of weird. It's not really a good, really flowing song. It's very different. It's very, you know, on the very high end on the poppy side of things. So I can definitely see this one being a hard one to turn into a metal thing. But he managed to do it somehow, which I can appreciate that. I could give him the applause, you know, where credit is due. But I don't know if it flowed well to me, to be honest. But I can see why he chose this one. I can see why, you know, with the meaning behind it, you know, with him like battling with his old self. He's trying to like get away from that. He's trying to like bring out this new image. He's trying to get rid of all what used to be in the past, you know, with him, with all his struggles, all his internal feelings, I suppose. You know, from like I said, with a lot of these band members, you know, they can being on the road constantly, you know, being away from family, being away from loved ones, it can take a toll on the guy. So I can definitely feel for him for that, especially dealing with like mental issues, especially with all those, you know, surgeries and all the stuff, you know, medical processes he's been going through over the past couple of years. So it's definitely been a lot. So I can definitely see why he's trying to like bury that. He's trying to get rid of all that, you know, get rid of that past, that, you know, get rid of all those demons that have been attacking him over the past couple years and decades even. And so he's starting this new chapter in his life. So I can definitely see him connecting with some of the lyrics, some of the words, and in the original song, especially when he flipped the words there when he said Brian is like the old Brian is dead like that. I can definitely see, you know, him connecting with those lyrics. The darkened kind of tone he did with this track when it started at the beginning, but there's a lot of clean sections in this one. There's a lot of cleans. There's a lot of like, you know, subtle beats in there. We got some screams. We got some high screams in there. If those Brian are doing those screams, I can definitely say he's been practicing on those screams, buddy. Keep that up. We might have to give you some, you know, more recommendations. But like I said, it's a lot more chill on this one this time around. But I like the guitar tone though. The guitar tone was so deep. It was so muddy. It was almost like an industrial, kind of like the old dark grunginess kind of feel to it, which is very deep, reminiscent, kind of reminiscent of like, you know, Bad Omens, a little bit more like the President vibe that you know, they're doing now with the poppy and the kind of like, you know, hardcore down tune, you know, 8-stringy grooviness action to them. A little bit of Sleep Token vibes in there as well, but with the trap beats and stuff like that. But I don't know, for this one typically, you know, it is a good track, but I just don't know if it's the right track that he should come back to with this one. Like I said, don't get me wrong, I like the creativity. I like when you know, pop goes punk, you know, style kind of tracks. You know, I like when band members or metal vocalists, you know, try to create like a pop song into a metal song. So I always appreciate that, but I just don't know if this is the right one I just think I'm sure there was like another Taylor Swift song that he probably could have chose, because don't get me, she has a lot. I don't know if she even knows about the original one that they did with Blank Space, but you might have to be careful there. There might be some copyright issues that she might figure it out. She might come after you, Brian, so you better be careful for that. I don't know how this whole, cover system works, especially with mainstream bands when they like, distribute it and, like popularize it. So I don't know that's a whole nother issue to talk about. But like I said, I don't know if it was the right one. Hopefully we get some more from them in the near future. Maybe he's writing on some original songs there. Maybe he's doing some more covers and stuff like that. But I don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see. But the original one will always hold up in probably one of my top 10, at least top 10, Pop Goes Punk covers at least. Because I was singing that one nonstop when I first heard that one from back in the day, and it was definitely a heavy banger. But this one, Brian, I love the guy. I like the scene that you're back out there, you're doing the thing. A lot of high budget on this one, very high budget. I was surprised to see all the the creativity that went behind this one, the green screen work, the characters, the props, the costumes, the makeup and stuff like that. So it's very high budget, don't get me wrong. So I don't know who he's got behind, working with him behind the scenes, but I can definitely see he's keeping the band members under wraps. They got the masks on, they got the you don't know, there could be some just like stand-ins for now until he gets some people coming in to be in this new band. I don't know, it's very exciting though. It's very exciting. I like when new band members, branch off and they create new projects, and they just like, just do this unique style that no one has done before. So I like seeing that. I definitely like seeing that. So we definitely have to keep our eyes and ears open for more Scatterbrain in the near future. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what your thoughts and opinions down below is. Don't get me wrong, Brian is an amazing singer. He has those cleans. He can definitely do those, tricks with his up with his voice. You know what I mean? But I just don't know if it's the right one. Let me know what you guys think. If there's another one that he could have maybe done over from Taylor Swift, or if there was like another one kind of do. I don't know if he's just capitalizing on the popularity from the original one. I don't know if he's a fan of Taylor Swift. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments, and be sure to talk about it. So we just have to wait and see what more tricks Brian has up his sleeve in the near future. So yeah, so be sure to hit that subscribe button, especially new here, because we're going to every single video on the channel, and genuinely want to sound on a single one. Guarantee that. And I'll see you guys in the next one.